Alright everybody, what's going on? It's YFV here, and exciting news, I'm back. We're going to be uploading a lot because the next few weeks I am on vacation, which means full on putting basically all my time and energy into YouTube stuff. So let's really get it going on the road to 10K. This is a fun video. Now, when I initially put out the teaser for this, right, it seemed to be a lot of people thought this would be a video targeting Spider-Man in a negative way. I don't know why. I know Kingpin is a Spider-Man op, but these two need each other for scaling, so it would be kind of dumb to slander. But that's not what it is. This is a celebration of Kingpin throughout the years, how goony he is, how strong he is. I'm going to review his best statements, best feats, best wank, and then, a brief synopsis of some of the stuff he's done in his career and why I think personally, he's one of the most underrated street tier fighters ever, not just in Marvel. Real quick, if you guys like content like this, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss any of my videos, because sometimes YouTube doesn't love me. Anyways, I don't want to waste any more time because I'm super excited about this. Let's start the Kingpin party. Now, first let's talk about best statements. First statement: according to, some of the highest powers in New York City, Kingpin's mix of money, brains, and physical prowess and skill makes him unstoppable in New York. At the time, they were considering Spider-Man while saying this. Kingpin stated underrated in power, which is why beating Spider-Man was easy. Now, their first fight, Kingpin wore him out. And this, I personally feel, can be attributed to Spider-Man underestimated Kingpin. He wasn't holding back. He literally said, dang, I just hit him as hard as I could. Nothing happened. But literally, he just wasn't anticipating this. The dude looks fat, right? Just some big looking fat ass to blitz him and put in work, right? So I would attribute that first one. It's fair to say that, right? So Spider-Man fans, you can say that, and it's pretty reasonable. But moving on, he is stated to be at least as strong as Spider-Man when they next fight, if not stronger, as he ragdolled Spider-Man by the ankle. Spider-Man also, while fighting Kingpin, states that in combat, both before the fight begins with prep or setting up the environment, to mid-combat manipulating what's going on, he admits Kingpin himself is a brilliant tactician in fights. Spider-Man actually says that he can't take many hits from Kingpin, and that he got super lucky that the strong punches thrown by Kingpin actually missed. He would have been a goner. And this is no slight, because you're going to see in the feats just who Kingpin's rocked over the years. According to Civil War II, an argument can be made that he scales above the elite criminal minds on Earth casually. When he got pulled up on by a team that included Falcon and Spectrum, he told them hoes to back up and get up out his face before it got real. And then he threatened to fold Falcon in his merry band of bitches. He said, look, dog, I'm Wilson Fisk. I don't care if you have Cap's shield in a new outfit, dog. You don't step to me, so get the fuck out my house, dog. And they left. They didn't really want smoke with him. He's crazy. Later on, in a fight against Punisher, Kingpin actually states he basically toys with Punisher, and he doesn't personally see Punisher as someone on his level as a combatant. Also, it stated in a file review during an investigation of a murder that Kingpin has killed many agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Again, later in Kingpin's solo run, it is admitted that he is an absolute genius as a criminal tactician. During an argument with a fellow criminal about how insane Kingpin really is, he notes that some of the greatest global conquerors were crazy. So it's not bad to be crazy. Questionable, because he's basically like, look, dog, Hitler might have been bad, but he got buckets. I don't like that argument. It's a little weird. But, you know, Kingpin was like, look, I'm going to rock out regardless and get money. And he's not wrong. He gets money and he rocks out. Now, he does imply later, I think this is interesting, that he's developed basically a form of precog, which helps him in combat and situations that involve, you know, sinister forces working against him. Kingpin is in contention for the most dangerous person Daredevil's ever beefed with. Daredevil and Spider-Man are also stated unable to impede him when he decides he's going to make a play. Like, there's no really stopping Kingpin when he decides to turn up. Apparently, according to an exchange he has between a reporter, he once folded Vulture for the memes, and it was hilarious. It's off-panel, but I think it's funny that Vulture gets shit on by basically anyone associated with Spider-Man. Vulture takes a lot of L's in the Spider-Man Rogue Gallery. Kingpin is considered a valuable ally for Doctor Strange, who lost Daredevil already to Baron Mordo. This, of course, is when Baron Mordo was trying to take over New York and everything else, and the Sanctum was taken over and compromised. And at that point, you know, Wilson Fisk has to pull up and help save everything. At this point, Doctor Strange and crew are not confident they'll win, but while in his personalized golf cart getting them away from the scene, Kingpin's like, yo dog, relax, I don't take L's. He then reveals he has better magic plugs than Doctor Strange himself and negged his tower being touched, unlike the Sanctum of Doctor Strange. So literally, Kingpin's tower has better magical defenses than Doctor Strange's inner sanctum. I don't know why you guys think modern Kingpin's trash. I know he jobbed to Back in Black Spider-Man, but that's a one-time thing. He's a goon literally every other time in 616. Like, I don't get where the hate and downplay for Kingpin comes from. He's hilarious. He also admits and proves in a battle with a witch and an evil force that scared the likes of Strange, he's literally willing to sell his soul to get the W. He's not going to lose to a hoe. He's gonna turn up and take the L after, but he's going to get the W against you right now. He is a GOAT. He states at some point early on in Spider-Man that he can fade Spider-Man whenever he wants to if he's motivated to do so. I think this is interesting because he's basically talking about how he doesn't actually really have beef with Spider-Man per se. It's more so Spider-Man's a thorn in his side. He doesn't really care about Spider-Man. He's trying to get money. He's trying to make moves, you know, and sometimes Spider-Man's in the way. So he gets pushed off to the side. It's not really personal for him, and he says, if it was, you'd be dead, which is interesting to consider. One time, in a fit of rage, Kingpin says Spider-Man runs from direct fights, which literally, you know, Spider-Man has talked about in their prior engagements. You know, he doesn't like fighting Kingpin straight on. And that when enraged, he can beat a dozen Spider-Man if they chose to fight him straight up. So he was like, yo, if you had Shadow Clones and popped out a dozen more Spideys, I'm beating all of you up. Pretty impressive, bold statement. But enraged Kingpin is stupid strong. He also, after an exchange with Red Wing, who is Falcon, and Captain America, he reminds Captain America how they are easily on par if they were ever to throw down. And they do throw down, which I'll reveal the result of that later in the video. Red Skull actually states he would never confront Kingpin physically on purpose. At least he's going to avoid it at all costs. Keep note, he's literally confronted Cap multiple times, and he does not want to confront Kingpin. Spider-Man once says that Kingpin's standard Cane Ray, if fired full blast, can fry him, which is pretty impressive. Onlookers in the exchange between Kingpin and Spider-Man said that Kingpin appeared to be way more powerful than Spider-Man himself, as Spider-Man was, like, literally to himself at one point was like, yeah, I'm dead if he actually gets a clean hit, because he was about to literally splatter his skull. Also, at one point in a fight, Spider-Man mistaked his strength for a mutant, as Kingpin was literally throwing around a 3,000-pound dumbbell trying to take off Spidey's head. It was pretty funny. Now, let's move on to best feats. This is a bit longer of a section, so I'm going to try to be a little faster talking about it just so we get through it all in a good amount of time, because, you know, I was thorough with the Kingpin research. He's hilarious. First up, in their first ever fight, Kingpin folded the hell out of Spider-Man. No doubt about it. Spidey got folded. It is what it is. He also casually negged Spider-Man trying to blitz, grabbed both of his wrists and put him in a vice lock. Spider-Man also, in the grappling exchange, was getting dominated physically by Kingpin. Kingpin was literally slamming him around like a child. Spider-Man also really struggled and couldn't seem to overpower him. And it mostly, at that point in time, Spider-Man was trying to resort to long, drawn-out fights where he could find a weakness where it's like he just didn't want to straight-up fight Kingpin. A really impressive feat and respect Spider-Man has. You don't have to agree that they're relative or if Kingpin's above. You don't have to agree with that. But Spider-Man respects that and believes that. He knocked away an amped Daredevil before, who was trying to take him out from behind. Jigsaw, who is an opponent for Punisher, constantly and casually gets bitched by Kingpin, no problem. He once got riddled with bullets, and it just pissed him off. It doesn't even seem to break through the first layer of his skin. He has abnormally padded skin. He evaded casually Hawkeye, who was tracking him. No problem at all getting out of there. Hawkeye is one of the premier agents in the world. So evading him is quite impressive. He's also shown casually one-shotting people, snapping their necks like twigs. Punisher isn't direct about fighting Kingpin. He avoids straight-on fights with Kingpin, similar to Spider-Man. And once again, Kingpin called him out on it. If you duck direct fights with Kingpin, he's going to let you know you're a bitch for it. I love it. He then blitzed Frank, who had prepped and cut the power. So Frank was controlling the battlefield, had prepped for this, and still was getting folded. This is when we see Kingpin tank a 10-inch blade to the chest and grab Punisher by the throat. He then beat Punisher, dropped him out a window. Like I said, Punisher literally prepped for this matchup. Kingpin got caught off guard, still won with that massive knife buried in his chest. He's a beast. He's also casually blitzed machine gun fire and just torn people apart, killing them all barehanded. Young Kingpin was able to stab someone for the disrespect faster than anyone around there could see. Keep in mind, Marvel humans literally think Beyonder runs like a Washington Redskins quarterback. These boys can see fast shit, all right? That's my point. He punched his punches when he hits people causes massive craters in the ground. Kingpin literally was unharmed from a Spider-Man dropkick and tells Spider-Man to relax. I thought this was hilarious. It was younger Kingpin getting established in the underworld, and Spider-Man came through the window, like, drop kicked him, and he was like, yo, bitch, like, relax. It's not that serious. He also casually folded a senator's son military level security team, no problem. Even as a young Kingpin, he was able to troll and lead Spider-Man on, manipulating him constantly in situations. Again, later in that comic with young Kingpin, a Spider-Man surprise strike to the face does 0 damage. He disarmed a dude while he was laying in a bathtub. You could either interpret it as he got the gun away from someone, or he had the Glock in the tub. Either way, you're not catching him slipping when he's washing his toes. Kingpin's gonna pop you if he's in the bathtub, okay? Showers, non-616, different story. We're not gonna talk about that. But in 616, catching Kingpin's lacking in the bathroom, not an option. He allows Spider-Man to hit him while enraged in order to frame Spidey. Enraged Spider-Man's punch barely made him bleed. He's, with 0 effort, folded several martial artists and seemed kind of bored doing it. Kingpin, one of the most important aspects of his character, if he takes an L to you, he's getting back at you 10 times worse. So, like, several of your friends will probably die just for you disrespecting. He absolutely folded Tombstone and tells him to remember who Kingpin is. He should know the vibes. You don't disrespect Kingpin, you get put down. Later on, I'll kind of discuss where Tombstone scales and why that's crazy, that he literally always beats him up. He easily blitzes gunmen that he sensed invading. He grabbed a dude and snapped his arm like a twig casually. He folds Tombstone just because he's annoyed. Like I said, that's constantly, like, it's constantly almost a meme in the comic. Like, Kingpin just beats up Tombstone for no reason all the time. He then, in one of my favorite exchanges, saved Doctor Strange in order for Doctor Strange to owe him a favor. He also survived an assault from a witch that pressed Strange. He rocked Moon Knight so bad with one punch that Moon Knight pretended to be knocked out so he didn't have to fight Kingpin. Ridiculous. Spider-Man is unable to strangle Kingpin even when using his legs and stating he was squeezing with all power possible. Literally going all out, couldn't grapple with Kingpin. Kingpin overpowered him once again and took him down. He folds Spider-Man constantly with grappling. It's just, for street tiers, grappling with Kingpin's a nightmare for most of them. 6 world-renowned martial artists couldn't even make him break a sweat, and it took him just a couple seconds to take them all down. He almost knocked out Spider-Man once with a simple bear hug, but he underestimated Spider-Man's ability to recover and didn't finish him off, so he dropped him kind of prematurely. Spider-Man really struggles to surprise KO Kingpin, and Kingpin dropped the ceiling on him with a cane blast casually. Kingpin has been shown, like, simply tearing open a massive bank vault with his bare hands. He is able to 4D chest Spidey when Spidey was being too annoying. Kingpin's like, okay, I'm actually going to plot on you. Spidey can't blitz Kingpin once more as he gets tactically folded. Most times when you try to blitz, he gets a hold of your wrists and just controls your wrists from there. Kingpin once more outgrapples and overpowers Spider-Man. He gets up a few seconds after taking a blast that Spidey said would one-shot Spider-Man. So remember prior I stated the cane full blast was stated to fry Spider-Man if it was to hit. That same blast hits Kingpin and he doesn't even get knocked out. Also, it's stated similar to his precog, he can also sense your power, so if you're a powerful opponent, he's going to know. He also casually tore open prison cell bars. The best all-out strike from Spidey, swinging from his web full with his feet, couldn't put down Kingpin. At that point, Spider-Man was like, dude, you have to have armor for skin. You're not normal. Like, that destroyed people, and it didn't even knock him out. Like I mentioned before, he got into a scrap with Captain America and folded him. Cap hit him with that shield, and Kingpin said, look, dog, for all your, Boy Scout attributes, your super soldier serum, your skills, and your shield, that still ain't shit to big Kingpin. He then folds him and was going to kill him, but Falcon intervened and saved Captain America. So he actually straight up beat Cap even when Cap had his shield. If Spidey didn't block at one point, he stated Kingpin would have killed him with a strike. It appears in Rage Serious Kingpin, his strikes can literally kill Spider-Man. Pretty consistently, at least in the old runs. The schemer who had beat Spidey in that same comic instantly conceded when Kingpin got to him. Kingpin also did the best against an amped Spider-Man compared to the rest of the Rogue Gallery. This Spider-Man had like 6 arms and was going around mopping the floor with everyone, and Kingpin by far did the best out of his whole group. Fresh out of a coma, he bullied Spider-Man physically, and then he, like I said, mentioned before, his serious strikes are dangerous. He almost killed Spider-Man with a stomp to the face. Once more in a grappling exchange with Spider-Man, Spider-Man had the advantage of leverage of where he was, yet Kingpin was still able to slam him through a brick wall and then KO him. Daredevil in their first fight was slightly weakened and absolutely got mauled by Kingpin in one shot, and he was literally hurting himself trying to hurt Kingpin. Kingpin then later one-tapped the door casually that Daredevil nearly tore everything on himself, like up trying to open. It was a massive strain. He one-shots demons that stated to serve the boss of all demons. He fights against Spider-Man, have lasted as long as 6 hours before. He has folded Deadpool like a damn pretzel when Deadpool annoyed him. In an 8v1 versus the 8 best prodigies at martial arts school in the world, Kingpin won in seconds. And like I said before, he's beaten the hell out of Punisher. And he's low diffed him casually even when Punisher had weapons. Next time they clashed, Kingpin beat up Punisher so bad and was so disgusted by how trash Punisher was, he didn't even kill him. He didn't think he was worthy of it. In his Gucci mink robe, Kingpin once lost to Kingpin in a drawn-out battle. However, I thought this was impressive because for context, like I said, Kingpin's in his robe, pissed about his girl disappearing, so he's just raging. Panthers also conceded in this fight that he prepped for the entire battle in every step of the way. Despite that, Kingpin was still physically ragdolling him. So still an impressive feat for Kingpin. He, at one point, fought Red Skull, who is a clone of Captain America's body and is considered a world, renowned martial artist and a hand-to-hand combat specialist. And he got folded horribly by Kingpin to the point that Kingpin almost killed him. He also constantly tracks Norman Osborn and, in my opinion, seems to be smarter than him. He said it's casual, but he doesn't have beef with Osborn. So he has no need to do anything with the information. Also, this is an important feat, and I feel like it should be talked about. Spider-Man fans literally pissed themselves when he was shown to, quote, not hold back with a punch on accident and, knock Scorpion's jaw off. So, he would knock human jaws off, kill them if he wasn't holding back. Kingpin casually tore a dude's arm off, just shaking his hand. He was like, let me send a message. Shook firmly, arm literally ripped off. That's not impressive? What? And he wasn't trying, he wasn't going all out. He literally was just shaking it. You could see it. There was no crazy effort, full body yank. Nothing like that. It was a handshake. And he was able to casually rip the dude's arm off. Come on, Kingpin's stupid strong. We need a story explaining why he's so damn strong. Is he a mutant? Is he inhuman? What is he? Why is he so damn strong? We need to know. He knocked a bloodlusted Matt Murdock, a.k.a. Daredevil, out before. He also was able to casually almost delimb Black Cat. He literally was going to do it if interference wasn't run. And he's also folded platoons of ninjas pretty casually while unarmed. So, that I don't want to waste too much time and go over the wank. It's not necessary. This is literally just a review of his street tier stuff. So I'm going to give a synopsis, of some of the things he's done for his street tier resume. He has, in my opinion, at least over a 70% win-loss ratio versus Spider-Man safely, which is impressive and should be one of the highest for Spider-Man's rogue gallery. Spider-Man has one of the most impressive rogue galleries of any street tier ever. I don't care. Don't at me. He has more than 10 wins against Spidey. Most times, Spidey is actually the one dropping in on him, and Kingpin doesn't even want to fight him. He has beaten Punisher every time they have fought in 616 that I could find. Currently, I think that is at 3-0. Punisher had weapons, and Kingpin was unarmed in 2 of those battles, and it didn't matter. He is 1-0, or 100% against Captain America, and it was an easy win for him. He's 1-0, 100% against Red Skull. Skull had Cap's clone body, is a master of hand-to-hand, and has bested Black Widow, Nick Fury, Black Panther, and has done well on several occasions versus Cap, and has even beaten Spidey before, but got fucked on by Kingpin. It is what it is, man. He also has multiple wins over Tombstone, and routinely bitches him throughout history. Tombstone has beaten Spidey and beat up Moon Knight before, yet gets mauled. 1-0 against Moon Knight. He hit Moon Knight so hard, Moon Knight feigned the KO to duck a real fight. He would be 2-0 against Red Skull, but like I said, Red Skull ducked meeting him again. And in my opinion, he by far did the best against an Amp Spider-Man with 6 arms compared to the rest of Spider-Man's rogues. So, there you have it. Where do you think Kingpin ranks among street tiers? I think, personally, he's one of the best and one of the most underrated in comics for sure. Given throughout time what he's been able to pull off against Spider-Man, Captain America, Red Skull, all of them. Consistently one of the most dangerous characters shown in New York, and I think he's a monster. Check out my live. It should be a live stream tonight, if not tonight, soon. I'm going to be organizing a street tier list. Quote street tier, because street tier is low-key and not even a tier. But you guys are going to be able to tune in and live help arrange the tier. You will get to help impact where we put each character. Sorry, hairball. And when we do that, after, I will compare it to my list I make before the stream. So that should be super fun. A chance for fans to interact with me. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. But anyways, it's been your boy, YFE. I hope you guys enjoyed this video reviewing the God of Goons, Kingpin. And I will see y'all later. Peace.